Hello everyone, my name is Andini and I'm a second year student in International Program on Science Education. Now I will be presenting about optical instruments. So let's get it. So what is optics? Optics is the study of visible light and the ways it can be used to extend human vision and do other tasks. Knowledge of light was needed for the invention of optical instruments such as microscopes, telescopes, and cameras. In addition to optical fibers, these instruments use mirrors and lenses to reflect and refract light and form images. So what is an image? Image is a copy of an object created by the reflection or refraction of visible light. So how does image form in our eyes? First, we have light. Light will enter the cornea, and then the cornea bends the light to help the eye focus. Some of this light enters the eye through an opening called the pupil. The iris controls how much light the pupil lets in. Next, Next, light passes through the the lens, and then the light hits the retina. When the light hits retina, special cells called photoreceptors turn the light into electrical signals. So these electrical signals travel from the retina through the optic nerve to the brain, and that's the image will be formed. So this is the mirror versus lens. Mirror, it is a piece of glass that is polished, while lens is a transparent piece of glass. If the mirror reflects the light and the lens refracts the light, so convex lens converge and concave lens diverge the light. It can be plane or spherical with mirror, and with the lens, it has two surfaces out of which one is curved inwards or outwards. The working principle is the law of reflection in the mirror, while in the lens, the working principle is the law of reflection. In the mirror, it has only one focal point as it has only one reflecting surface, but in the lens, a lens has two focal points as it has two reflecting surfaces. So this is the three types of mirrors. Plane mirrors. It is a flat mirror that reflects light rays in the same order as they fall on the mirror. In other words, the light is reflected at the same angle as the angle of incidence. So the size and distance of the object are same in a plane mirror reflection as it is in reality. But concave mirror does not have a flat reflective surface. Its reflective surface is curved inward and resembles the interior of a bowl. It is thicker at the edges than the center and produces a bright and larger image. This mentioned in this slide, it's mentioned that produces virtual erect and enlarged image. And the convex mirror. The convex mirror does not have a flat reflective surface. Its reflective surface curves inward and it resembles the interior of a bowl. Also, but its reflective surface bends out or curves outwards like the outer surface of a bowl. It is thicker in the middle than at the edges, and it produces virtual erect and highly diminished. And this is two types of lens. Lens is divided in concave and convex, while concave lens is thicker on the edges than its middle portion, and thus the rays which pass through the concave lens are diverted away from the focal point, and only virtual and smaller images are produced. It is usually used in TV projectors, and it produces in this image. In this picture, it produces virtual right way up and diminished. And we have convex lens. Convex lens is thicker in the middle than the outside edges, and its surface is curved outwards from the center. And the image produced by the convex lens depends on the distance and position of the object being filmed. So when we talk about optical instruments, there is light microscopes. Light microscopes uses lenses and mirrors, and it can magnify objects more than 100 times. A compound microscope has at least two convex lenses, one or more objective lenses, and one or more eyepiece lenses. So this is the overview of microscope. Uh, when we started to observe the tiny thing or such as the cell in the leaf, we put it in this surface, and this is called whisk cage. So the object to be filmed is placed on a glass platform called the stage, and bright light reflects off a small plane mirror. So we have mirror here. It reflects the light so that and the light will shines upward through the stage and the objective lenses above it. The viewer looks through these eyepiece lenses, and the knobs here is used to move the lens up or down in order to bring the image into focuses. And this objective lens is the lens that used to magnify the tiny thing that we put in this stage. So let's next. This is the ray diagram for the compound microscopes. So compound microscope is the most common use in laboratorium. Okay. So how has the microscope advanced scientific knowledge? The microscope lets scientists see entire new worlds, leading to many discoveries, especially in biology and medicine that could not have been made without it. Some examples include the discovery of cells and the identification of bacteria and other single-celled organisms. With the development of more powerful microscopes, viruses were discovered and even atoms finally became visible. So next is telescopes. Telescopes use convex lenses and mirrors, same with microscopes. And there are two basic types of telescopes: reflecting telescopes and refracting telescopes. And this is the anatomy of telescope. There is eyepiece when it's used to focus and magnify image, and this is focus lens. This is used to reflected light is directed towards eyepiece, so it's reflecting the light, and this is refracted light, and this is objective lens that is reflect and refract the light. So how has the telescopes advanced scientific knowledge? Yeah, so this is the answer of the question. It can show mountains and craters on the moon. It can also show that Earth was not the center of the universe. It can reveal geography and weather on the planets in our solar system. It can reveal new planets and asteroids. It can help us understand gravity and other fundamental laws of the physical world, and help us understand the light that radiates from the sun and the other stars. And this is ray diagram for a telescope. And yeah, this is a reflecting telescope and refracting telescope. A reflecting telescope uses a concave mirror to collect and focus light, while a refracting telescope uses a convex lens to collect and focus light. So this is the camera. Camera use convex lens, produce real image. The image may be recorded on film, or it may be detected by an electronic sensor that stores the image digitally. So I will explain you how the camera works. So light passes through the lens at the front of the camera, and then as light passes through the lens, it forms a reduced real image. So the image becomes smaller, and the shutter control. This shutter controls the amount. Uh, the shutter controls the amount of light that actually strikes the film, and it stays open longer in dim light to let more light in. So yeah, so this is how has the camera advanced scientific knowledge. We can now capture wildlife in both still and video photography without the on-site presence of a living person. Help give us unprecedented access to locations such as treetops, burrows, nests, grasslands, ice fields, and oceans, changing the way we bond with animals also. So this is my references. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.